In this video, I'm going to show you one of the best Warlock classes in Baldur's Gate 3. And in this Baldur's Gate 3 guide, this is my favorite one that I've used so far. It's really fun. So let's jump into this and I'll show you exactly what this build is. And you can see if you want to run this through your gameplay or not. So first of all, this is the race that we are doing, and one of the reasons I really like having this one is because we get fire resistance. So we take half fire resistance, that's why this is such a good build, and we also get to see up to dark 12 meters, and then we get some more movement. Now this is the sub race, and the cantrip we are getting is this one, gain advantage on intimidation and performance checks. This is really good. The class is obviously going to be a warlock, and then the cantrips, you want to choose Eldritch Blast. And then this one, this is just a standard one. I haven't changed it out. This works really well. I do like Blade Ward because for 2 turns, you get half damage from bludgeoning, piercing, slashing attacks. And it's just a free action to use it anyway. So this is really good. These are the spells. Now you can change this out for 2 different ones if you like. So you definitely want to have Sleep. Don't change that out. Or have Hex. Hex gives you additional damage on other spells and stuff, or you can change Hex out for this one right here. It doesn't really matter because you're eventually going to get Hex anyway, so it doesn't matter what one you use. This one helps your team. So if you are a beginner to the game, this one might be a little bit better to get through the first stages of the campaign because it can be a little bit difficult to get through. So if you have companions, then you definitely might want to take this one, but I'm going to put Hex on because I like this. It just gives extra damage on our spells, and I'll show you how that works in a second. We have background. Background doesn't really matter on your characters. You can kind of choose whatever you want. Just go down here and see how many you get. You usually like a +2, +3, +4. Now with this one, you can do Guardian, which is +2, +5, which is really good. Or you can do a Sage. I've run a Sage before, but I would probably go with Guardian because you get +2 and you get +5. Now abilities, you want to put 8 into Strength, 14 into Dex, 15 into Constitution, Intelligence is at 10, Wisdom is at 10, and then we have Charisma at 17. Now let me show you what these spells do. Alright guys, so I'm not going to show you the Blade Ward because all that does is give us a damage reduction, but I'll show you how Hex works. So you click on Hex, you just click one of these, you put it on an enemy. Now they're hexed and we can do our blast. You see it gives them extra damage, so it gave us 1 for the blast and then 4 for the hex. So that's how hex works. Now I love damage, so that's just why I run it. It's really good. We have these 2 here. So this is just Charm or Frighten enemies, disturbing with disturbing magics. And then we have this one, Sleep, which is put creatures into a magical slumber. Select targets up to combined 24 hit points. So that's what those 2 do. Alright guys, so for level 2, we've gone with this spell. All targets within the light turn visible and attack rolls against them have an advantage. So this is really good for your team. I've gone with this one here, and this gives us this. Now this is really good. Works really well. I also have this top one here. When you cast Eldritch Blast, add a Charisma modifier to that damage it deals, unless it is negative. This works very good as well. Now level 4 is super easy as well. This is a spell I'm going with, the Cloud of Daggers. You can essentially just choose whatever you like here, one that fits your needs. And then with the feat, I've done ability improvement and I've given myself 1 extra dexterity and 1 extra charisma. Or if you want, you can use tough. So tough gives you 2 more maximum hit points for every single level you have gained. This is actually quite OP and works really well. I have this on most of my builds, but for this one to change it up, ability improvement is really good. Alright, so let me show you what some of this new stuff does. So first of all, we have one of my favorite spells, and that is Cloud of Daggers. And essentially, you can put this anywhere on a target, and it does what it says it does, gives you a Cloud of Daggers. Now, this is really good because if you have 3 enemies, there's no enemies here, so I can't give you a good example, but usually if there's 3 enemies lining up, you can put it on the middle one, and it'll kill the one in the middle and the ones on the side because it gets hit by the side. So this is actually a really good spell for if enemies are bunched up in little mobs. It works very well. It's probably actually my favorite spell. Now we have Misty Step. This essentially means that you can move anywhere within this radius. See this radius on the screen? So it works very well. You can get anywhere on the map essentially. And then we have these other ones that we talked about. So you can gain 7 extra hit points, which is really good. you can pull enemies closer to you. That works really well with Cloud of Daggers if you want to do like get them bunched up. And then we have this one here, which works extremely well. So those are the ones that we're at now. And then this one here is really good. So yeah, those are the spells and stuff that we have now. Now let's move on to the next level. All right, level 5. So for spells, you want to pick Hunger of Harder. This is OP. Just pick it. It works really good. With this one, there's 3 choices you can go with. You can go with Repelling Blast. When you hit a creature with your blast, you push them back 4.5 meters. You can go with one with the Shadows, which this gives you vanish into the darkness and become invisible as long as you're standing still. This one is really good as well. Or Beast Speech. Beast Speech is very OP through this game, and you will be using it a lot through the campaign. This works really well. So I would pick either Beast Speech, the Repelling Blast, or the one with the Shadows. I'm going to do Repelling Blast at this point. And then with Race, we now get this. So possibly mark your targets with light, preventing it from turning invisible. All right, level 6 is really easy. We're going to go with this spell here, which is Plant Growth. Make weeds burst from the ground and smooth the area. I'm going to show you how this works in a second, but this is really cool as well. All right, so level 7, you can really go with any one of these if you like, these level 4 spells. This one is quite good. So teleport yourself around with another ally. This one is also good, so you get a beast that fights beside you. But I'm going to pick this one because this one works really well. Temporary banish your targets to another plane of existence. I would probably go with this one here, which is a level 4 one. And you can turn creatures into sheep, which is quite fun. All right, for this one, you can go to spells and you can just choose whatever one you want. I'm going to choose Dominate Beast. And then on this one, you want to go with Warcaster. Gain an advantage on throws to maintain concentration on a spell. So most of our spells are concentration. So you want to pick that one. Or if you want, choose Tough. Okay, I usually choose Tough. I usually have Tough at some point because it's really good. So pick either, if you haven't done it already, you can go with Tough or Warcaster. I've usually chosen Tough earlier on in the build, so I would have had it by now. All right, guys, level 9 for the spell. This is the one I really like. Is Hold Monster. So you paralyze a creature. It can't move, act, or react. Attacks from within 3 meters are always critical hits. This works quite well on bigger enemies. I really like that one. And then for this, I've gone with Thieves of Fate. So once per long rest, you will cast Bane using a Warlock spell slot. Bane targets up to 3 creatures that receive a 1d4 penalty to attack rolls. All right, guys, now we are at level 10. And at this point, you can kind of just start to choose whatever you want because you're going to be pretty strong anyway. So there's nothing specific you really need to choose. This is the cantrip I go with. Gain advantage on your next attack roll. Do like this one. It works quite well for me. And then I've chosen a level 1 here just because usually I would have this earlier on. Armor of Agathis is quite OP. So you gain 5 temporary hit points and deal 5 cold damage to any creature that hits you with a melee attack. So this is quite good. I would probably get it earlier on, but I'm just going to put it on right now at level 10. All right, so level 11, you can essentially do whatever you want as well. Now this is pretty good. Circle of Death. I would recommend this one. And then spells, you can go with whatever. Teleport yourself up to one adjacent ally to a place you can see. This is really good for moving around. All right, for rank 12, this is a spell that I'm going with, is the form, the gas form. And then for the for this one, I do Beast Speech. So essentially at the end, just have this kind of lineup. Okay, it doesn't really matter how you do it throughout your leveling, just whatever works best for you. And then for feats, I've gone with ability improvement and I've maxed out my charisma. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. My game actually crashed. I was going to show you all of the new spells, but I'm back to level 5. What I'll do is I'll release a video soon showing you all of the spells for the Warlock and the best ones. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell to know when it comes out, and I'll see you in the next video. But this build works really well.